And I'm also a guy who indulges very quickly. I'll be the drunkest guy. If I was drinking like a fish in America, imagine I was in Kenya. When I got Chile, date rape drug or whatever you want to call it, but the thing to knock you out so they can steal from you. And I got robbed to the tune of $4,000. Nobody up to this day has ever said, oh my God, man, we need to go and find those people. And even if they did, the louder message was like, why were you in that place? Why were you showing them you have a cell phone? Why did you speak so people realize you're from... Some of us are still colonized, like literally. And that was the only way to win. Divide and conquer. These boundaries that are in countries, Kenya became Kenya in the late 1800s. The only way Africa will ever be united, take away the borders. It doesn't even have to be literally. Just be like Kenya, Uganda, and everybody before you agree a deal, call us so we can talk together. Man, I would have been garbage. Because I'm a very inquisitive guy. Kenya was not enough for me. And again, I'm spiritual. My mom in heaven must have said, this guy, for him to be able to have a fulfilling life, he needs to go to the US. I would, first of all, I would have been in a career which has nothing to do with how I want to, you know? First of all, remember I was in NYS. I look at the people that I was in NYS with, what they are doing now. To include some of the closest people I have in Kenya. They're just doing something because that's the only opportunity they have. I was doing electrical. That's the course that I got just because they had an opening, not because I picked electrical. Even the thing I wanted to do electronics, but maybe I misspelled it or somebody chose whatever, electrical. Or, believe it or not, mechanics, auto mechanics, because I'm into cars, I was into cars, I would like to fix cars. I didn't get that. So imagine I would have been out there, right? Now, let's say I changed careers. It would have been, I don't know how I would have had the resources to change something that is still going to be able to support me. And then whatever I'm doing now, bring it back to the community. I would not have been able to build bonsons if I live in Kenya. That's how I know. And I'm also a guy who indulges very quickly. I'll be the drunkest guy. If I was drinking like a fish in America, imagine I was in Kenya, and that time I don't have money, you know? Nobody's there to tell me the risks, or nobody's there to treat me. And then the alcohol there is bad. The kind of alcohol that's in Kenya, I feel sorry for those guys. You may think you're drinking whiskey, but you're drinking friggin' paraffin, you know? Or paint stripper or something. I even heard they dream embalming fluid. That's why they lose their eyesight. Be like, tutaendelea kunywa. They don't realize the chemicals that have been used to make the local brew are some chemicals that should not be put in anybody's body. But I think my life, without a doubt, it would have been tragically different because of the way I am. And me knowing my family, and then I have brothers who are there, and they are very different from me. So I think I would be an exaggerated version of that. Yeah, because I can tell they even when they are there, they feel like, I could be doing better. You know? That would be for most, but I'm speaking for myself and from the people that I come from. So, you know, until this year, I used to say I would never move back to Kenya. Literally. Not because, obviously, I'm there. I have property there. I'm very ingrained with what's going on there. But I had said I would not plan, or I don't want to, because that's a fallacy. I'm just making up things. I have my instincts, the way I'm built. I don't like to bullshit. I don't like to do that. I was not planning because I knew that there's no way I'm gonna move over there. Plus, I know I'm gonna work until I cannot work. Even when I'm sitting down, I want to be doing something because my profession and what I like to do is people, interacting, educating people, mentoring people. So I can do that from anywhere. And I felt, I'm here. The government is taking care of me because I have served the country, and I have all these veteran benefits. I work for the veterans. I feel veterans, I owe them to give them back. And then in the middle of doing that, the money I'm getting, the resources I have, I'm able to transfer. So I'd said I'll never. But then, man, funny enough, all this crap with the new administration and the way they are treating us, and realizing all these things that I care for, I could lose them, not because of my own doing. I'm like, screw it, man. Like I said, I'm retired. My pension and everything are there already. All I have to do is hit send, I should do that. They are lucky I haven't done it already. I was wishing they would fire me. When they were doing all this firing the first time and they're still pushing it. Thursday last week, before we closed out this last week, 3 days ago, they were saying the list is coming out June to say all the ones who are going to be gone. We're going to get rid of 80% of HR. So we can go to AI or whatever the hell. Because I don't want to be the one who, if that happens, you're going to see me in Kenya, you know. And then even if I stay back, because I'm staying in a shell organization, I feel I need to start planning, or I need to start thinking about it strongly and go there properly versus me sitting over here and thinking, ooh, the only reason I was staying here is because of the security. But now it's not there anymore, man. It's so disappointing. Something I never imagined. With all my knowledge and the way I'm sitting, you know, currently in my career, in my position, in my experience, I never thought I would feel insecure in America. Because of this new administration, I've realized this place is so fragile because these people can fuck up shit within 30 seconds. Let me go back to my home. Realistically, my life is here, right? But my home is Kenya. I don't know if that makes any sense. My children are here. If I decide to move today, believe me, my children are not going to be with me because they're American, right? I can't afford to leave my children. And then how am I able to support my children from over there? So if I'm moving over there realizing I have a battle to fight, to have my children come with me. And even if they don't come with me, now my children, who can barely see me when I'm in San Diego, how are they going to see me? So what's the point of being alive? How am I over there helping other people, but yet my children are left in the woods, you know? So I hate to make a choice. That's why I say I'll stay here because I can easily go to Kenya and come back. But now even something as simple as coming back is something we are being told, oh, you never know. Why the hell are people telling me you never? I'm a citizen. I didn't even ask for citizenship. The government was like, hey, you are a citizen because you're a military guy, because you need clearance, and then you're telling me, oh, we can stop you? Nobody's more American than me, man. I tell somebody, I dare you. Tell me who is more American than me. You invited me. I was just chilling in the village. You told me to fill this form because you want people to be American. You brought me here. You didn't give me shit. As a matter of fact, the qualification. When you come here, you shouldn't depend on us. Right? Are you okay? Yeah. So, and then you tell me that I cannot. No. So that's why I feel I would rather be over there, you know? I don't want to go back to where I need therapy because of some bullshit like that, you know? All right. See, the beauty of bond sense, you don't lose anything. Even if we lose things. And in America, we used to say one thing, huh? Or they say, but when I was in, we used to say it to each other, or we used to use it, is don't lose your bearing. So regardless of what's happening, don't lose your bearing. And bearing is in relation to like what you're looking at, right? And regardless of what happens, I don't get startled. Because there's some people who get frustrated and then, oh my God, we wasted all that time. Like, how long have we been here? We got here, let's say 3:30 or something like that, 2:40 something. And then we set up, so we can say 3:30 we started, and now it's going to 7. So that means about 2.5 hours. Say 2.5 or 3.5 hours. But anyway, so let's do this. Well, my opinion is it happens, but it's looked at differently. Because everybody wants to leave the where you have less and you go to where you have more, right? Milk and honey. I have honey. I have not heard that term in a long time, but literally I remember being told, now you're going to the land of milk and honey, land of plenty, right? How are you going to move away from lack of opportunity to where you have opportunity and then you leave? Right now, fortunately, the current environment is everybody knows how America is by what is being shared. A lot of it is opinion. Because as we know, because we are talking about audio now, I'm more aware of the bird because that bird is like his. But did you know crows, they don't forget and they teach generation after generation? Like if you do something to one of them, maybe you must have pissed it off. It's like every time we start talking, it's like that's when it starts participating. It was quiet the entire time. But anyway, going back to moving back. So people are aware that America is not cakewalk, right? It's not, you don't come here and the minute you land here, boom, you have a house, you have a car, you have whatever. And we have things which people aspire to have in Kenya, right? Or any other country where people live and want to come to developed or want to come to the US. But I'm speaking for Kenya. People, the things we do normal, like the things we are doing right now, we are hustling. I have to drive to work. I have a car. I live in a house. It has air conditioning. I have a fridge that is working. I have a grocery store that's right there. When I go there, everything is there. You know, the registers work. ATM machines work. If I call 911, somebody's going to be there right now. Right now, the thing we dropped over there, If we call the maintenance guy, we can have a guy who will probably come and tear that thing up, take it out, and put it back on. But in Kenya, when something happens, you're supposed to accept it. To include things that are so inhumane. Think of anybody. Have you ever been robbed in Kenya? Really? You have never even been pickpocketed. Okay, when you got pickpocketed, did you tell anybody? What did they tell you? That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. When you told your parents, what did they say? And then anybody who talks about it since that time, what do they say? Typically, they will say, you should be careful. Exactly. Make sure you don't put things in the back pocket. It's your fault. If you get mugged, it's your fault. When I got Chele, date rape drug or whatever you want to call it, but the thing to knock you out so they can steal from you, and I got robbed to the tune of $4,000, nobody up to this day has ever said, oh my God, man, we need to go and find those people. And even if they did, the louder message was like, why were you in that place? Why were you showing them you have a cell phone? Why did you speak so people realize you're from America? Instead of being like, we need to sue the hell out of that club. We need to find out who it is. We need to look for them. The cops, the following day after I woke up and I'm reporting, they were trying to get money from me. And it was not to help me. It's just be, oh, this guy has money. Do you have any more? Give us so we can go look for them. And I knew they were not going to do shit, and they didn't. So, to answer your question, or at least that's what I'm trying to answer, is when you go back, people asking you, call me. We are dying. We are spending money. The embassy is taking millions and millions of dollars from Kenyans who apply for a visa to be told no. Because out of the 100 people that apply, maybe they give like 10 of them, and the rest of them is just money that they keep. It's non-refundable. They are dying to come to the US to opportunity. Why are you coming back? So they are not necessarily not celebrating you. It's just like, what's up with this guy? Does he have problems over there he's bringing? Or is he what? Or if he comes over here and then when you're talking, you don't realize it, it doesn't matter how you say it. You are being arrogant. If I go there and say, man, we should fix this road. Where I grew, where I live in America, man, this road would be flat. In America, this water would be cleaner. In America, I would not have somebody stopping me and harassing me on the roads because they want money before I have to pass. In America, if I'm sick, I go to hospital, I know I'm going to get me. Every day, somebody's like, how about you shut the hell up with your America stuff? So that's why. My opinion, that's why. So I'm not saying go back and shut up, but you need to be aware of that. When you get over there, anytime you open your mouth, it doesn't matter your intent. There's gonna be a connotation to be like, look, that's why people tell you, you to America, stop being American here. You're back in Kenya. And you're not even trying to be American. You're literally trying as much as possible to assimilate. Reminding you of that story I talked about when I went to that school, I was the owner of the shoes. I used to take my shoes off. So you always feel like, oh man, I need to humble myself. I'm like, why do I have to? I already have this stuff. Why do I need to humble myself? But yes. Africa as a whole, or Kenya, like small countries. Africa as a people, we are united. But we are very recently from colonization. Some of us are still colonized, like literally. And that was the only way to win. Divide and conquer. These boundaries that are in countries, Kenya became Kenya in the late 1800s, in the 1900s, right? South Africa, we are still going through shit right now. Stuff in the White House right now, they are still trying to say, you see the way you're killing white people. First of all, go back to your country then. Go back to the Netherlands. How are you accusing us? So what they have done, the governments are in such a way, they are very easily manipulated. Because the people that they come and participate in our elections, and the person who wins, the person who gets the boost of the Western world, is the person who is going to be in their pocket, literally. And then we are such small governments, right? Our GDP is just a typical guy in LA or a typical guy, it's very small. So somebody like Ruto, if he is told, listen, the only way we are going to have USID come to Kenya is you're going to allow us to come and mine, or you're going to allow us, the wildlife income is going to be US, or the ports are going to be used to transport, I don't know what, or we're going to have our military come and practice over there. So it has to be a quid pro quo situation. And then when he agrees, he's not agreeing for the good of the country. He is agreeing because he is benefiting from it personally. So now when America and Europe and America and Europe mainly, when they come and do that to a guy in Kenya, and then you Why do we have more imports of food in Kenya than exporting? And we put in our resume, our main economy is agriculture. It makes zero sense. But if you look at the exchange, we import more food than we export. Yet we are an agriculture country, you know. But the truth of the matter is, Kenya depends on handouts and the money you and I are sending. Agriculture is just something to look good, you know. It's just like the way when you're looking for a job, you exaggerate your resume. So it's bullshit. So until we come to that realization that we need to not have people be in the pockets of the Western world, we will never be united. Because they do the same thing in Kenya, they do it in Tanzania, they do it in Uganda, they do it in Nigeria, they do it in Egypt, everywhere. There's a guy, not the people, who is in the pocket of China. Now China is the worst. China has no morals. At least America, they try to be like, we are in Kenya, we are giving them medicine, but somewhere under somebody. China will just come over there and be like, listen, we need to cut this forest for these trees. Like, how much are you going to pay? I'm gonna give you $1 million. Before you know it, you're in church being told, guys, we need to pray for the China. They have come to rescue us. You see, they have built a clinic. You see, they have built a road. And that road is not because they're giving you a gift. It's the road so they can transport the wood. So that's why. The only way Africa will ever be united, take away the borders. It doesn't even have to be literally. Just be like Kenya, Uganda, and everybody before you agree a deal, call us. So we can talk together like brothers. So we understand, are you getting a good deal for the country, or you're getting but no, that's why when people get elected from MCA, people get elected in Africa, it is the worst. They get elected and immediately the economic status explodes. Look at any MC who was elected and they were in the village. They don't even live in the village anymore. They live in Nairobi. It's like a congressman. They get elected in San Diego, they live in DC, in a mansion. They abandon their wife and everything. And then you only see them when it's time to campaign. So, yeah. It's a very dangerous situation, man. That guy, he better be protected. People say he needs to be protected at all costs. He's like being Gaddafi. It's like Mandela. Who else? And there's a lot of activists, you know. But everybody gets shut down. Let's not even go to Africa. America. Obama, even if he is American, and he was an American president, he had a lot of things that he wanted to do for the people. To include Kenyan per se, right? But he couldn't, because there's a power. It's always like, shut the hell up. That guy, he is playing with fire. First of all, if you're trying to change the currency, that you're going to use anything other than dollar, if you open your mouth about it, you're going to get cancer. We're going to be like, how did this guy get cancer? And he has never eaten any chemicals, because that's what causes cancer, you know? I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. It's just as a correlation. If you don't eat all these chemicals, you don't spray your stuff, you're not going to die of cancer. You're going to die of maybe cholesterol or stress or something. But anyway, yeah. Or you're going to hear there's a civil war. He got overthrown. Who did he get overthrown by when everybody is celebrating him? Even people outside of Burkina Faso. So this guy, he has what every African thinks should be happening. But unfortunately, there is powerful people that always want to pillage from Africa. So they're going to be like, look, dude, you're not supporting our agenda. That's the whole purpose of government. If we want Africa to be Africa, we just need to stop the Western ways and go back to Mansa Musa days. Nobody said Mansa Musa stole anybody's money. You have never heard that anywhere. But he was the richest man that ever lived, an African. Until the white man was like, God dang, how come this guy can build all these ships? At that time, they didn't even know gold was valuable, because he used to go and give away gold. Like the way you bring bananas. You know, like people come from there, they bring bananas because they don't know. He used to bring gold. He used to bring ships full of gold. And he would show up somewhere. China. He went to China before the white guy went there. And it was like Chinese people. And the Chinese people started trading with him. You know? And then the white man was like, oh, they like gold. Why the hell are we going to allow this freaking monkey, or whatever they called him, maybe at that time? But us, we didn't feel like Mansa Musa was stealing from us. And there was no border. He didn't say he was the king of Burkina or whatever. He was just an African who just had a lot of money and expanded. If he had been, if the Africa could have expanded like that, now would all have been like, we don't even know where. There's no such thing as Kenya. The guy in Burkina Faso. Yeah, they are there. They are there. They have been there. And I don't want to name any names, because by the time you hear about them, they have already been I don't want to say pocketed, what's the word? They have already been bought. They are there. Look at somebody like Eric Omondi. I don't think he really has any policies, but look at what he does, his reaction. But then, should he choose to be a politician for real, I can promise you, if you pull up a clip of what he is saying right now as a standalone guy, and because he has a voice and he has influence, and then when he becomes a politician, it will not be the same guy. They are there. And Kenya, the population of Kenya is one of the most educated people. So they know how to articulate themselves. They know what they want. But everybody's hopeless. And so when you get to that point and you realize, wait a minute, now I can get a visa to go to the US. I can take my kids to London. I can live in Karen. I can live in Runda. Why am I going to sit over here and die I'm going to die anyway, You can get killed very easily. And people will say you got killed because you're stealing somebody's wife. Or you got killed because you went to the wrong place. They don't realize that's somebody from the US who had you killed.